Welcome to Land Academy. I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We show you how to buy real estate for half of what it's worth.
And sell it on the internet really fast.
We are Jack and Jill,
and this is the Jack and Jill Show too.
With over 15,000 completed transactions, we're the experts at acquiring property.
Of all kinds, not just land.
For half price and flipping them for way more.
All right, let's get this show started.
Jack Butala and Jill DeWit.
Happy Friday!
Welcome to our show again. In this episode, Jill and I talk about it's half as hard and twice as profitable. You know, this land business we're in is being a landlord. Let's get into it. I love this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll gauge it into we'll put some real math to this.
Okay, cool.
Before we get into it, though, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landacademy.com online community.
Okay, Ryan asked, I've been running into a strange problem where I'm getting different sizes for the acreage of property I own during my research. When Google Earth had the APN feature, that was a long time ago. It's like over a year ago. I looked it up and measured the lot, and the measurement came out to 2 acres. Then I went to the county site and got a map that shows a parcel, and my parcel measurements showed 2 acres also. I then got a notice of value from the assessor, and it says 1 acre. Am I doing something wrong? What should I do? Jack?
Ryan, you're not doing anything wrong. In fact, I know which Ryan this is, too. And like this, you've thoroughly thought this through, like everything. So congratulations. And I know you're doing really well. Congratulations on that, too. Hey, the true answer to this is that turns out the county makes mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
They're human, too. They make a lot of mistakes, quite honestly. Mistakes in recording, mistakes in assessment, very often. Mistakes in assessed value. Mm-hmm. So just because the notice of value says 1 acre, and that could be just because they were lazy that day, and they said, it's about 1 acre.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen, like slews and slews and slews of property.
Exactly.
So if you go on the internet and do a little bit of research, in fact, this question is making me think of my next blog, the topic for my next blog. There's a way that you can take the circumference of the property and calculate it. Mm-hmm. All right, so an acre is 43560. It's 43,560 square feet. So you can back into it that way.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like he did it too, because he got his map. I'm showing he's got a parcel map with the actual lot and the measurements where it will show 600 feet by 800 feet by up here. And he did the math, and he's right. So that, for me, is the real deal.
Yeah, it's exactly right. And by the way, that Google APN scenario, CoreLogic purchased that property. That's why that went away. Purchased that company. Mm-hmm. That's why it went away. So we're going
to bring back a version of that.
We will be releasing a product soon here that does it for you, where you literally just type in. It will take you with the corner points to Google Earth for 99.3% of the properties in the country.
Exactly. It's insane.
145 million of them.
Yep.
I'm having a blast dealing with that database. I love that.
Good. So it's not you, Ryan. Call them.
And I would trust you way over.
Exactly.
You know, I always, even the GIS maps for the county, I always use 2 sources of data to confirm everything.
Right.
When it comes to, am I looking at the right property or not?
Right. Well, here's my other little sneaky thing, by the way. I don't know if your buyer is going to be so excited about this, but I am excited about this stuff. If the assessor has it wrong, and they're only assessing me with that APN as 1 acre, and they're accidentally undercharging me, part of me does not really want to bring that to their attention.
Yeah, I would not.
See, that's the thing you got to think about. They might go, oh, gosh, you're right. Excuse me, make that times 2. Like, shoot,
you know how we say all the time,
I don't know if I really want to do that.
You know how we say all the time, man, get to know the recorder.
Yeah.
And we say, if you're going to do anything with the property at all, get to know the planning and zoning people.
Yeah.
Have we ever said get to know the assessor?
No, we really haven't. No, it's not.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, we never talked to them.
Because the first thing the assessor asks, and I've made this mistake, and I learned the hard way. This is a replication of a call, the first and last call I had with an assessor.
Oh no!
Hi, assessor. I'm looking at this property, and I'm wondering how large it is. What's the APN, sir? I give him the APN, and he says, "Oh, you know what? This isn't assessed properly. Well, this slipped through the cracks." And then I get a tax bill for 3 times as much.
Right, you don't want to do that. Exactly.
So,
don't draw attention to it.
yeah. It's kind of like calling the IRS. Just
True.
leave those guys alone.
Oh, you guys put down my income wrong, but everything went through okay. But shoot, looks like you missed a zero.
That's exactly what
I really owe you this much money. Do we really want to do that?
Here's a funny side note. I think I said this to Jill before. My mother would contest her. So she's.
Oh, yes.
My mother, her whole life, with one exception, paid cash for our houses. Mm-hmm. And rightfully so, just like us, Jill.
Your mom's amazing with that. That was so good.
And she would contest, because you can contest your tax bill, and especially in California.
Yeah.
She's in Michigan.
We've sat there and watched people walk in and do it.
In California, if you talk to most of the counties, they encourage you to do it. It's right on their home webpage to contest your taxes.
Right. So we get those postcards too.
Yeah.
That's your time.
You can go in front of a judge literally and say, my assessed value for this thing is all wrong.
Right. All my neighbors sold for that,
yes.
and they sold for that, and this is that, and I bought this, and you have to push, but you're right. They will meet you there often.
It's funny too. I say she paid cash. That's because you have to, people with a mortgage, your monthly payment, there's an escrow number in there, a dollar value where the bank pays your taxes for you. It's all automated because they don't want you to forget to pay your taxes and then
PITI.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's because they, the lien positions, I don't want to get too far into this, but the lien position, the mortgage company has a secondary lien position to the county. So they have a huge vested interest in making sure that those taxes get paid. So they do it. Mm-hmm. So
that way the county can't take back your property, and the bank was left sitting there going, what just happened?
Yeah. We don't pay attention to our property tax values usually when we have a mortgage because we never see it unless we go to the website and look it up. But we don't want to.
Exactly.
Me included. So, if you own property outright like we do, we get 1 million tax bills. Mm-hmm. You look at the taxes. You look at that bill. You got to write checks.
Exactly.
If you have a question or you want to be on the show, reach out to either one of us on landacademy.com. Today's topic. This is a direct quote from a consulting call that I had 2 weeks ago. And the question that prompted the topic, which is, it's half as hard and twice as profitable, this land business we're in, versus owning a house and renting it out. The question was this: have you ever bought a piece of property and then you found out there was a house on it and you didn't know it and there was somebody living there, and then you decide to charge them rent, and this is a problem, and then they don't like the place, and that the conversation started to go down that path. Mm-hmm. I said, look, whatever you have experienced in your land business, selling it on terms and collecting payments and stuff, or even if they choose to live there, it's half as hard and twice as profitable as being a landlord. And if you go to Bigger Pockets, all everybody talks about is, I want to buy a house, and I want to get a tenant, and I want to rent it, and I want to collect that money every month, and I want to live happily ever after. And man, it just doesn't go that way. I'm here to tell you.
Right.
It does with land.
Mm-hmm. I was going to paint a picture about what my personal experience when this topic came up. I thought for a few minutes, and I have a visual here.
Yeah,
this is my visual on this topic.
You actually prepped for the show?
Yes, I did. I do every show. Jill, personally prep for every show. Jack, what's your story?
I write the show.
Oh, you mentally prep.
I write the title.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much. Who carries the show? Let's see here. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, so here's my visual. Imagine me, because this is true. I'm sitting in a renovation, in a project. I'm in the middle, literally sitting in the living room. I'm sitting in a folding chair. I'm dusty because we all know what's going on at that moment. Walls are being moved. There's no flooring.
Girls don't like to be dusty.
It's a dusty mess, right? And I'm sitting there eating my lunch that I packed that day because, let's be honest, you have to babysit these projects.
Yeah.
Sometimes you really have to be there because if you're not, you don't know who's showing up, what's getting done, what's not getting done.
Nothing's getting done if you're not
there. If you're not there, and they run into something like they're looking at the plans and they like, does the light go here or here? And you're not there to answer that immediate question, they're just going to guess and do what they think looks
That's right.
best. You really have to babysit. So there I am, sitting dusty, folded chair, eating my lunch, and I'm sitting there with a notepad, adding up all the time that I'm wasting and how much money I could be making sitting in our nice air-conditioned office after a nice lunch with you, Jack, and just flip some properties, which, by the way, was air-conditioned, and this renovation at the time was not air-conditioned.
Yeah, in Phoenix.
Yes. So
If you don't
that's
know by
my
now,
visual.
this is an actual story.
Yes. That was me, and that was the last, not quite the last, because then the last one we lived in, but almost the last.
That was the last house, not house flip that we've done.
But the
'cause we wholesale them all the
physical
time.
renovation,
But yeah,
where I'm
that's not for
sitting
me.
there and I did the plan. I had a blast. I mean, the design part of it I loved, and playing architect I loved, and and on picking out all the
I know which deal you're talking about.
yeah,
When I
because that was the biggest one. I mean, really, we made a closet into a bathroom. We created a closet. We changed rooms around.
Joe put a chandelier in the shower.
It was just right in the middle of the bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah, a chandelier in the bathroom, and
was a battle I
it was
lost.
just gorgeous, and I
That's why
had
we don't have a
so
TV
much
show.
fun. Right.
Those TV
So,
shows are not real, by the way.
That's kind of true. They show the fun parts,
They used to
but
show the math on
it's
something.
hard.
They stopped doing that
they did stop doing that.
because it's all lies.
Because a lot of them, we've had members say, I've never lost 20, which is true. David said this on one of our member calls a couple months ago. I've never lost $20,000, on a
Flipping
land
land.
deal, but he sure has on other deals. And we know guys that have lost
Never lost
a million here in South Bay, $1 million
$1 million
on a
home
renovation because he made it all bachelored out
Yep.
and couldn't sell it.
flip. Yep.
And it's just, that happens. It doesn't happen in this stuff.
This deal you're describing, the last one we did, last reconstruction, at the end of the deal when I went and picked up the check from the house girl, I did math. I sat in the car and I did the math. And you know how much we made per hour on that? When I combine our time, 15 cents an hour.
I believe it. It was ridiculous.
15 cents.
I know.
We'd be better off working at McDonald's.
Yeah. And we took a trip to Paris in the middle of that. Remember that? We
Yeah.
had to time it.
Uh-huh.
Partially because I was pulling my hair out with this. It was a long, I didn't see you.
I know.
During that whole period.
Never again.
And so you're like, can you take a week off? And I had to juggle some stuff to make it happen. And you know what? In our world, I can take off tomorrow. And, it doesn't matter. So.
Yeah, and deals are still getting done.
They are.
There's economies of scale. That's why, I got done with that deal a lot. I learned a lot. There's a developer friend that I have. Well, we both have. Jill, she builds infill lot houses. Izzy.
Mm-hmm.
And she only does projects where she can do 3 or more right in the same block.
Love it.
And there's a reason for that.
That's
So
brilliant.
You get 3 dishwashers, you put them in at the same time. You pour 3 foundations at the same time. So and that really makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. She Texas area, I think, still?
She's in Texas now
Yeah.
in the water.
Okay, that's what I thought. So but still, I just can't, I don't want to do that. It's just too much work, like you said. That's the whole topic here. You really got to sit down and think about, what you want to do. And I know that we have members that came from that, and I love that. Because they are really successful. They've been there and they've experienced that. They know how hard that is, and they get into this and they're like, "Oh my God,
I hate
this
to
is
see
so
that
great!"
because they love, the itch that probably if you're listening to the show, you have this itch to make money in real estate. That calls you. You don't seek
That's
it out. It's a calling. And I hate to see people. Here's what I see happens. I did a blog on this a long time ago. This is an absolute wrong way to do a real estate deal, and this is how I see every new person do it. They look in the MLS or they call their sister-in-law, who's a real estate agent, and they pick a house out.
Or they drive around and find one with boards.
Yeah. And they buy the property. Then they call their lender. They get a loan. They buy the property. So in that loan process, now the real estate agent made some money, the mortgage company made some money, the mortgage broker made some money. Who else made money? Any contractors that were involved. The inspector made money. Everybody makes money except you. You pay money. Then you go get a tenant. And you hope.
You're doing all the work too, by the way.
Or maybe you get a property manager and you pay them too. And you hope that the guy's going to pay rent, the tenant.
Yeah.
And then what? It's going to cover, and you're going to make $200 or $300 or $400. There are people on the internet that celebrate if they make $300 or $400 over their mortgage payment.
Oh, every month?
Yeah, I mean, we flip acreage deals, and we make $70,000 to $150,000 on an acreage split deal.
I know.
And it takes maybe 2 hours. And then we never see the property.
Remember my dad did this for a while. He did it in Southern California, and then he went to Texas, and he had 10 to 15 rental properties at one time in Texas, because you could buy them back then for $70,000, $80,000, get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It was in the Dallas area.
Yeah, it was during the RTC days too.
Right.
You didn't put any money down.
And you can rent them for $1,000.
And there were no mortgage limits. You could have 50 mortgages in your personal name.
Right. And but the thing was, he was the handyman. And I'm like, and that was just a lot of work. I'm not kidding. I know. The dishwasher's not working. Here goes Dad.
Yeah,
you know, he would do that and different things. And then my mom was a cleaning person, and she didn't like that. So it's kind of we still laugh about that.
Oh my God, your mom
she would. She'd go in and do the get it all ready. She would not be the regular cleaning person, but when he'd buy the home and he's getting the yard redone and getting it looking. My mom was the person that went in and get it all cleaned up as a new tenant moves in, and when the old tenant moves out, my mom would be the cleaning crew.
Somehow I don't think that
one-man cleaning
fly
crew.
in our house.
No, it was the funniest thing. I can't believe she didn't even say that back then. I am so hiring this out.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta say, we have a good friend that just moved a couple week and a half ago, and Jack said, hey, you need some help moving? I will happily hire you some people. What do you need? That's what you said.
He caught that too.
He did. And that's how it should go now.
I all laughed about that.
Exactly.
My moving days are over.
Yeah, we're done with that. No, and my cleaning days are over.
I know.
Done with that. My cooking days are about to be over too.
So this is, in the title is Landlord. It's not really about flipping houses, but, Jill and I have never received a call from somebody that says my land's not working.
Yes, right.
Or the land's not where I thought it was, or any of that stuff.
Could you imagine?
It just doesn't happen in this business.
Yeah.
In fact, what they do is they say, if we do get a call, it's like, geez, this is more beautiful than the pictures.
Do you want a funny thing, too, about this stuff? I just thought of made me think of a funny story. The one time I had a guy not one time, it's happened several times, but every now and then you'll have someone they think you're going to meet them there. Are you going to be there and show me the property? I'm like, it's not like you need a key to get in. So it's the funniest thing. And
I'll bring you a sandwich too.
Well, the one time I told the British guy, no, but I'll leave a key under the mat. He didn't get it.
I didn't know that. That's hilarious, Joe.
It was so funny. It was like 1 second, 2 seconds. I'm like, oh God, I got to explain this. He did not get it. And I thought that was the funniest thing on the planet. So anyway, it was silly.
I got a call from a guy one time, a lot of years ago, when I used to answer the phone, and he said, I had no idea how large 40 acres really is.
Oh, it's huge. You're right.
It's 1.7 million square feet. So there's right now, to put this into perspective, and I did it for our kids too, there's a Ritz-Carlton being built right very, very, very close to our house in Scottsdale. And it's on a 40-acre property.
Yeah.
And that's I said, kids, that's 40 acres. And it's a whole block.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one whole
When you stand there and look at it, that's a lot of property.
Block,
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you can't really even see across it. It's that far. And then you think about some of these deals we're doing, 160, 700, 800 acres,
huge.
like in Santa Barbara.
Exactly. It's huge.
It's awesome. That's what it is. Forget about these houses.
Well, that's not your thing.
We will be releasing. We will be releasing, unless you're a contractor. If you're a contractor, knock yourself out. Mm-hmm. And you love to do that stuff. You got a truck full of tools.
You like it.
That's fantastic. The way to make money with houses is to do it with the way we do it, where you already have a contractor / flipper guy, and you just buy houses for him, mark them up $10,000.
There you go.
And that's it.
I agree.
An escrow pays you.
Thank you.
So, nothing. My whole point is, and it's in the title, it's half as hard. What we do here, flipping the land, half as hard, twice as profitable as being a landlord. It's a lot more profitable, actually. Join us in another episode where Jack and Jill discuss how to use information, that's me,
and inspiration, that's me,
to get just about anything you want.
We use it every day to buy property for half of what it's worth and sell it immediately.
I know what's going on Friday.
All right, that's exactly what I was going to say.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. It is Friday, Joe.
I was already thinking weekend is where my head just went.
Uh-huh.
So
you were done with the show.
And you know me.
You were done with the show about a half hour ago.
Oh, yeah, I really was. Well, we did an extra show this week.
I know.
So that's partially why.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, we did a two-parter on Tuesday, I think it was. I think it was two-part Tuesday.
I'm not even going to tell you about the numbers on that show, am I?
No. No, you are. I do want to know.
They're twice as good.
I bet they are, and they will be. And
It gets me thinking.
oh, no.
Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property.
We are Jack and Jill, and
this was the Cash Flow from Land Show. We are the experts at acquiring property
Of all kinds, not just land,
for half price just so we can flip it for way more.
and really fast. Thanks for listening. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.